Hi, my name is Steven, an application engineer at Keysight Technologies. And in this video, I want to tell you about the source and sink capability of the RP7900 series regenerative power system. The RP7900 series regenerative power system has the ability to both source and sink power from its output terminals. It has a two-quadrant seamless transition operation at its output, which means that it can go from sourcing to sinking in a seamless manner. And to do that, we have both a current priority and a voltage priority mode. In current priority, we're able to set the current level that we want to sink, and in voltage priority, we can set both a positive and a negative current level. So the setup we have right now is that we have two units. In the back, you can't see it, but the outputs of the two units are actually connected to each other. And in today's setup, we're going to use the top unit as our sourcing supply, and we're going to use the bottom unit as our sinking supply. So let's jump to the front panel and we can configure the settings. On the front panel, you can see that both outputs are currently disabled. So we're going to start with the top unit and set this up to source. We're going to press Menu, choose Output, and go to Mode. And since we're using the top unit as the sourcing supply, we're going to set it to voltage priority. For the voltage, we're going to set it to 5 volts. For the current, we're going to set the positive current limit to 5 amps and the negative current limit to negative 4 amps. And then we can go back to the meter view. Now let's go to the bottom unit and configure the settings. For the bottom unit, we're actually going to go and set it as a sinking power supply. So to do that, we go to Output, we go to Mode, and instead of voltage, we're going to choose current priority once we're here. And now we configure the voltage and current settings like we did on the top power supply. For the voltage setting, we're going to set it to 5.1 volts, which is slightly higher than the top unit. For the current setting, we're going to set it to negative 1 amps, and that means we're going to want this power supply to pull 1 amps from the top unit. So once everything is configured on these two power supplies, we're going to enable the outputs. So both outputs are now enabled. As you can see, one of the units, the top power supply, is actually sourcing 5 volts and 1 amp into the bottom power supply, which is sinking 5 volts, and it shows negative 1 amp because current is now going into it. And we also can tell that this is sourcing and the bottom is sinking, and according to our output priority modes, we set the top one to voltage priority, hence is in constant voltage mode, and we set the bottom power supply to current priority, so it's in constant current mode. And you can see this solution has both a sink and a sourcing capability. And in the next setup, what we're going to do is we're going to show that the transition between sourcing and sinking is actually seamless. So when we change one from sourcing to sinking, we'll see that the current actually crosses the zero axis in a smooth and seamless way. To demonstrate the seamless transition between sourcing and sinking, we've connected a current probe at the output terminal between the two power supplies. The current probe is connected to the Keysight power analyzer, which will show us the smooth transition as one of the power supplies goes from sourcing to sinking, and the other one vice versa. The power analyzer will show us this current characteristic as a seamless transition from a negative value to a positive value. And when this happens, the power analyzer will provide and capture a waveform that looks like what you see on the screen right now. The RP7900 series power supply has a source and sink feature, and as we saw in this video, is also a seamless source and sink feature, which allows you to test things such as power converters and batteries. So I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I hope you've learned something.